like to call the meeting to order. It is 17th of September, and this is the Selectmen's meeting, continued from earlier. And the first is to read this announcement. Pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 20, I'm hereby informing all attendees that a video and audio recording is being made of this meeting. If you prefer not to be videoed or audioed, this would be your time to head out the door. Okay, let me get my agenda here. We had a meeting earlier, so I got all my paperwork all stacked up here. All right. Let me get my agenda. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'll take a look at that because mine seems to be stuck here somewhere. Is this for our hearing? This is for another day. Okay, the first order of business is to review and decide what to do with the open session minutes of September 3rd, 2024. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I move we approve the minutes from September 3rd, 2024.
You do. Second. All right. Nothing has to be amended. I think we're good. So with that being said, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Great, thank you. Next, we have a public hearing on an amendment to a special permit for the property located at 80 Summer Street, Unit M12 in Late. I assume you're here to speak to that, so why don't you come on up and have your script.
Yes, hi. My name is Grigory Pateyev. I'm here on behalf of Louise and Leonard Shaper to represent their project at Unit M12 and Fox Hollow condominiums, or Meadowwood condominiums currently. Just wondering if I should bring the drawings to your table, or should I remain here?
You can bring them. We have one set here.
Right.
If you have another, you can come on up.
I can just sort of explain.
Please,
what we're
yeah, we
doing
have.
and,
Sure, I have a couple of questions, but nothing strenuous for you. But
Okay. That's good.
why don't you run us through what you think you're doing, and we'll go from there.
So we're proposing
You guys
to,
let me use the bigger stuff.
in 2014, the Meadowwoods received the special permit to construct the structure that's about 4,000 square feet, 4,400 square feet structure. And we simply proposing to add to that structure. The structure was constructed, but it was not nearly as big as it was originally allowed for. The current footprint is 2,294 square feet.
And does that include the garage space, or is that just the living space?
That is include garage space.
Okay, thank you.
So
Thanks. Yeah.
then there was a 480 square foot deck was added on already. And what we're looking for is permission to add 1,000 square feet master bedroom addition to create a kind of a single level living space
Okay.
For the family. It's a single story addition, and the drawings show the layout of existing building and addition inside of it. That's the existing conditions. We talked to David Carver, who was president of, is in charge of Meadowwoods condominiums, and so he didn't voice an he actually came to the previous meetings planning board and was very supportive of the project. We kind of struck the 35-foot line in front of the building just to kind of contain the addition. So we're within that. And that was his recommendation. It's not a rule that we had to, adhere to. He just sort of wanted to keep the building from sprawling. And the following drawings show the full basement and roof addition, the main level. It's a simple hallway leading to the master bedroom. And then there's a bathroom and closets and laundry room. The building kind of picks up the vernacular around it. It's got a standing seam metal roof and siding, so typical for the area. And here's the elevations. Then some three-dimensional views as well as the random elevations.
Yep, okay.
So pretty straightforward.
And just for context, this property is 850 Summer Street.
That's right, yes.
And then it's a unit, what unit is it?
M12.
M12, okay.
So a couple of things, well, any questions or comments from the board first? I'll open it up to you, and then I have a couple, and then we'll open it to the public.
Go ahead.
You good? Okay.
I guess, so you confirmed that it meets all the setback requirements and the
Well,
lots.
Of your
there is no
boundaries.
really setback requirements because of the nature of the property.
Okay.
It's
Well-
a condominium, so there's, all the buildings sort of occupy whatever the square footage they occupy. And they're really by special permit. So,
So, and looking at this sheet, A01, OOA, and I'm looking at this was confusing to me, and this is why perhaps it's confusing them also, but it's confusing to me. When I see this 35-foot distance,
that's from the building out, not from the property.
right, but when I'm looking at this I'm looking at these lines.
Right.
Are they the property line between this group ownership and this group ownership?
Actually not.
What is
This
that?
lines are actually just internal divisions because the whole the parcel was made out of several other pre-existing
Right,
parcels.
right.
So it's going to remain in the record. This is the outline of the overall property line. So it's
So that's on
actually,
the first.
right. So you see the light yellow outline?
Yep.
That's the footprint. So the property we're
So-
talking about is right there.
So zoning setbacks would be from your yellow line.
That's right, yes.
Okay.
And we're way outside of those zoning setbacks.
Sure. So I guess, can you clarify a little bit what this 35-foot distance means? Why was that? Sounds like an arbitrary number.
When we originally talked to David Carver about adding to the building, he's recommended that it wouldn't go beyond the 35-foot distance from the building out. And that's all there is. Was just
So it's a
him.
private internal
That's right,
decision?
yes.
Okay. Because I was afraid it was a zoning setback issue, and it looked like you're,
No.
So is
You're
it
gonna
the
get-
square footage of the building is what dictates?
Right, so we'll look at the wording of the original special
Yeah,
permit.
yeah.
It says, the family dwelling, the two-story single-family dwelling and two garage, there should not exceed 4,400 square feet.
yep,
Okay.
And we are well within that.
okay. Another question I had, is this on a full foundation or a 4-foot frost wall?
We've got a full foundation.
Full foundation, so I noticed there's nothing designated in the basement at all for any use.
Utilities, and storage.
Okay, and that's not shown on any of your drawings.
Well, it's, they're,
Yep,
There is
It's
a
would be-
footprint,
yeah, I saw the footprint.
basement layout.
Yep, yeah, there's one that shows the
So next-
basement.
right, so it's this next one right
Yep,
there.
that's right. And it's totally empty,
Right.
Yeah,
so we're gonna cut through the foundation
we're
here?
gonna cut the foundation to access it. There's no walkout, it's not a walkout basement.
Yeah, I saw that. No windows, ventilation, anything going on in there?
Part of the internal mechanical system of the building.
Okay, all right. No, well, I'll let the building department take care of that.
Right.
But I did want to know if there was going to be usable space there that had to get added toward the 4,400 square foot
No,
limits.
and 4,400 square foot deals with the, I believe, footprint of the unit, so it's not about accumulated.
Not even aggregate square footage, it's
That's right.
just
It's
bird's
just
eye
the
view.
area the building occupies.
Okay, bird's eye view. Okay, thank you. Let's see here, I think I have one other question, probably. Maybe if I start at the back. Nope. And I was wondering about the basement area, that's all, square footage, no, I get that. No, I guess that's, this moment in time, just let me go back to my other paperwork, because I think we had some letters that we want to put into the public record. Just set this out here for a moment.
For everybody's awareness, this has been brought before the planning board
That's
already. Yeah, and they've given the approval.
That's one, yeah.
The site plan review approval. Right.
We did get, thank you, because that was in the beginning, huh, brother? So we did get one letter of support, all right, for this, from neighbors. It's just, my wife and I own the condo freestanding house next to Len and Louisa's Shapers in the Meadowwood Association. We're in number M9, and they are in M12. We just want to say we support their proposed addition. No problem, feel free to contact us, and there's some numbers here by Daniel, I think it's Moses, and Miriam Benchman. Anyway, so that's the only letter that I know that we got for or against, so that's what we had. Yeah, it's 4, so, okay. So that's good, thank you, Bobby. All right, any other questions from you folks before I turn it over to the public?
No, nothing for you.
No? All right, since this is a public hearing, does anyone in the public wish to have any comments or say anything? No? Okay, all right, very good. So we have some findings we have to make since a change to this, to the special permit. We have some findings, and I'm getting to the finding page. All right. It's a special permit. There are mandatory findings before we can grant a permit, and with or without conditions. Special permit granting authority shall find the proposed structure and use satisfies all the following standards. There's a list of 5 that we need to make findings on. The first, and we need a reason why, we just don't regurgitate the language of this. We need to say why we believe it meets this. So the first finding that we need to make is that the structure or use is in compliance with all the provisions and requirements of this chapter and in harmony with the general intent and purpose.
Yeah.
So we can discuss that a little. It seems to me like it's in harmony with all the rest of the zoning area up there with the other condominiums and the layout. I did take a drive up there and to see the space, and it was very open. Doesn't look like you're crowding anybody or interfering with anyone's personal space and or next to somebody else's condo. So I think for this purpose, if someone wants to make a finding that it meets this based on some kind of a rationale, like I just mentioned, one of the rationales.
I'll say that it does meet that finding in that it seems to be in harmony with all of the other existing structures and has plenty of space to do the extension.
Okay. And so Sabrina, you got that? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to take it the way the safe attorneys say to do, and we're going to vote on that individually. So that being a motion, do I have a second on that motion for that, for the first finding? All right, we have first and a motion and a second. So a roll call vote, all those in favor of that particular finding?
Aye.
Bob Jones?
Bob Jones,
Yeah,
aye.
okay.
Sean Renier, aye.
Gordon Bailey, aye. All right, the next mandatory finding is that the structure or use is essential or desirable to the public convenience or welfare at the proposed location. Anyone want to address that one, or?
I would find that the structure is essential, or I would move to find that the structure is essential or desirable for the public convenience, and as it doesn't interfere with any other setbacks or uses from neighbors or anyone else within the confines of the development, and and that it's I think that would be sufficient for the finding.
Okay. Do I have a second?
That.
All right. Sabrina, did you get that okay? All right. Since we have a motion and a second on the second finding, I would call for a roll call vote. All those in favor?
Sean Renier, aye.
Bob Jones, aye.
And Gordon Bailey, aye. All right, the third finding that we have is that the structure and/or use will not be detrimental to adjacent uses or to the established or future character of that neighborhood. Would you like to address that?
I'll move that it seems to be in conformity and compliance with all the surrounding structures.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, again, a roll call on mandatory finding number 3. All those in
Jones,
favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Sean Renier, aye.
And Gordon Bailey, aye. Thank you. All right, mandatory finding number 4 is that there will not be undue traffic congestion or any undue impairment to pedestrian safety. All right,
I would move that we find there is no undue traffic congestion or impairment to pedestrian safety, as this is on the end of a cul-de-sac, and there is no interference with public right-of-way as part of this addition.
Second.
okay, and I'll second that. All right, all those in favor with that, roll call?
Sean Renier, aye.
Bob Jones, aye.
Okay. And also could be noted that it's not adding any more traffic. It's the same
Right, we're not
residential
increasing
structure.
occupancy of
Yeah.
the house.
Yeah, it's not like it's a development that's expanding into 10 more units. All right, and the fifth and last mandatory finding is number 5, the structure or use will not overload any public water, drainage, or sewer system or any other municipal facility to such an extent that the proposed use or any existing use in the immediate area or other area of town will be unduly subjected to hazards affecting public health, safety, or general welfare.
And say there are absolutely no constraints at this particular location on any of those criteria.
Okay, very good. Then,
I would second
second,
that.
okay, and a roll call vote on the mandatory finding number 5.
Bob
All those in
Jones, aye.
favor? Yep.
Sean Renier, aye.
And Gordon Bailey, aye. Okay, those are the mandatory findings. We also have the ability to put conditions on this if we wish. And does anyone foresee any need or reason for any kind of condition on the use or the addition itself?
Not aye.
Yeah.
No,
Sure, I don't see any either. Okay. So I think at this point, before I call for a final vote, is there any other comments that this board would like to make?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay, very good. Any other final comments from the public? All right, seeing none, then I would request a motion. What's your pleasure?
Mr. Chair, I'd move that we approve the amendment to the special permit for the property located at 850 Summer Street, Unit M12,
Okay, as proposed.
as proposed
Do I have a
and as
second?
found.
Oh, yes, thank you, yes.
I'll second that.
Okay, I'll call for a roll call. All those in favor?
Sean Renier, aye.
Bob Jones, aye.
And Gordon Bailey, aye. All right, you're sort of on your way, and at this point, just to explain how it goes, Sabrina will be writing up our decision, and we'll file that with the town clerk, and it has to sit there for 20 days in case somebody wishes to appeal our decision. And as long as there's no appeal to our decision, you'll get a notice from the clerk to that effect. And that, along with, the other things that you've got here, should all be filed in the registry of deeds, and then you'd be able to move forward with the permitting. You can apply for the permit in the meantime for review. But I'm sure it won't be issued until that 20-day period's over and proof of registry is done. Okay? All right, well, good luck and enjoy the new space. That's all I can tell you. All right? You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Excellent, thank you.
There you go.
I did finally find my copy if you want that.
Okay.
But I don't have a pen. That's okay, I'm making it without it. All right, we have a second public hearing. That'd be great, yes, hold on for a few minutes, thank you. We have a second publication hearing. It's been published for a new all-alcohol restaurant license from Agave Mexican Grill in Lee, LLC, doing business as Agave Mexican Grill, 30 Housatonic Street, Lee. And if you'd like to come up and speak, sure. Thank you. If you'd introduce yourself and.
Yes, good evening, Attorney Anthony Doyle from Pittsfield. I'm here with Sandra Sosa, who is the principal of Agave's Mexican Grill in Lee LLC. Sandra owns 2 Mexican restaurants in Great Barrington, the Fiesta Bar and Grill, which was opened in 2011, and Agave's Mexican Grill, which was opened during the midst of COVID. Both are successful restaurants in Great Barrington. Both have full liquor licenses, and she's had no disciplinary problems whatsoever. The opportunity presented itself for the former Athena's restaurant on Housatonic Street, and she and her husband went out and refinanced their home and bought the property and are looking forward to opening another Agave's restaurant here in Lee. I can tell you that Sandra plans on being the manager of this property. She plans on spending full time at the property, get it up and running, and try to get it on par with her 2 restaurants down in Great Barrington. She has strong family support who help with the operation of the restaurants, and I believe 2 of her sons are managing the properties down in Great Barrington. This is a 2,400 square foot building. We are limiting seating capacity to no more than 84 seats. That is what Athena's had before us. We are following suit. We are not looking to add any more than that. We don't know that it would necessarily support it. We have submitted a plan to the board for your consideration. I understand that plan looks a little congested.
It's a little
It is
crazy.
congested.
Yeah.
The planner who prepared that unfortunately did so without consulting myself. I forwarded it off to Sabrina because I had to have something in here before we had our hearing. I can also tell you that that reflects outside seating. Certainly outside seating is not going to be year-round. Given we're in the Berkshires, we can't be having people outside in the middle of January when hopefully this year it'll be 10 degrees.
No, you could.
Well, you could, but yeah.
Get some propane heaters.
That's
Some
it.
propane heaters. And,
Like in COVID, yeah,
Yeah, in COVID, we did that quite a bit.
that's right, yep.
We are not seeking any kind of an entertainment license. We're not looking for entertainment. It's primarily a sit-down restaurant. We are looking for an all-alcohol license because you can't be serving margaritas with a beer and wine.
That's true.
And that's what Athena's had.
Yeah.
So certainly be happy to answer any questions.
Well, what are we going to do, or are you going to do about this seating? Because, I mean, I did my calculations in review, and there's 160 inside, 104 outside. So
And that's
we're going to
not-
need to get some kind of amended.
So I will
Plan.
certainly submit something to Sabrina tomorrow that limits it to 84. Again, that is what we applied for, capacity of 84. And I do apologize for that, but I can get that fixed tomorrow.
So also on your first page, the occupancy was 84 and the seating was 84. So you may wish to also speak with the building department as far as occupancy load.
Sure.
Because you probably have an occupancy load greater than 84 potential, but seating of 84. So in case that gets kicked back by the ABCC, whatever they are,
Awesome.
you know, that is going to be something that might red flag on that. So you may wish to touch base.
I will.
Just to understand what your maximum occupant loads could be versus your seating, in case that needs to be adjusted. Also, oh, go ahead.
Occupancy would include staff, is that
Yes,
sort of
an
the...
occupant load generally includes anybody who could be in the building, workers, and that kind of thing.
Okay.
And I understand, well, first of all, let's turn it over to you guys for questions
No,
and
that's all
whatnot.
right.
You don't
Yeah,
need me to
he's-
do it.
No, that was my only other concern.
Okay, fine. So there is also the issue of alcohol storage, which I assume is in the main floor, because there was a question as to whether you're keeping alcohol in the basement, or, because I think the ABCC also wants to know that kind of thing, and right now it sounds like it's not going to be in the basement. Why don't you come up so we can hear you? Yeah, come on up, don't be afraid of us. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you.
So when you said the alcohol means like a storage.
Yeah, yes, storage.
So we rebuilt a bar in a different
Okay.
area.
Yep,
And where the bar was before, there's a lot of like shells.
Okay.
Which we want to close, we
Okay.
will close
Yeah.
with locks and everything, and that will be
okay.
our.
Okay, so it'll remain on the main floor?
Yes.
No alcohol, okay, because I just want to clarify, that's what your permit, your application said? Just want to make sure that we have that.
Where the water was before.
Yes.
Underneath
Yes, I
that
remember
was the
seeing that.
alcohol.
Okay. And one other question, there was, can you explain the days of operation? When you'll be open and also the hours that you foresee yourself being opened?
So ours will be, I would say 11 to 9, 10, the most.
Say 10.
Yeah, always say more.
Yeah, I would say more.
Okay, so 9, you said 11 to 10?
11
So-
to 10.
Okay, all
I would
right.
say. Obviously, cleaning after that will make it 11 or 10:30, so.
Uh-huh.
7 days a day, that's what we.
7 days,
go-
okay.
But we don't know, we might get tired quick. We don't know. We're planning to
understand
do
that.
7, but, that's what we applying for, 7 days. 7 days a week.
Okay. And the other question I think you addressed possibly, and that is, how can you possibly manage 3 alcohol licenses when they're so far apart? But it sounds like you're going to adjust the management of the alcohol licenses in Great Barrington,
Yes, I do
so
have
that you'll
a,
be here in Lee.
so I will be here only,
Okay.
I would say full-time. With it, I do have a very strong, family
Okay.
support, which is my
That's
kids.
fine, yeah.
27, 28 years old,
Yeah.
and my daughter-in-law.
Mhm,
Also,
okay.
is a big support for us.
All right.
And also my husband.
Yes, okay.
My
Well-
husband is a full-time, more than a full-time,
I understand. Well, this board's concern would mainly be just the management of the Lee. I'm not getting involved in management of Great Barrington. I'm just asking, I just wanted to make it clear that if you're the manager, you're going to be here managing it. Okay.
For sure.
Very good. All right. And I know, one of our past selectmen was always wanted to know if people were TIPS certified, if you've been through the whole TIPS program and all that, and so you have all your certifications.
I'm tip certified. yes.
Okay, very good. That's great.
Full
All
board
right,
certified.
I think those are my questions. Did that shake anything loose for either one of you guys at any future? Okay, and before we get to any kind of approvals or findings or conditions or anything, let me just see, since it's a public hearing, is there any member of the public who would like to speak or have a question? Nobody online has a question? Okay, very good. So I guess if I entertain a motion, it would have to be with some kind of condition about getting this floor plan figured out. I don't assume that would be a problematic for you, but before it goes to Boston, I think we need to have an accurate reflection of your real seating layout, including any limited or not limited outdoor seating. So we need to know what you've got going on. So, is there any other issue that anybody would have other than that clarification on the paperwork?
And then I think that reflects to the occupancy
Yeah.
versus seating.
Right.
Right, so just to clarify exactly, maybe that'll give us an idea of how many staff you might be adding to the occupancy number. But I think those two things were,
Well, given those, if someone wants to make a motion denoting those two issues before we send it off to Boston, and condition our approval on that, I'd be more than willing to hear it.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the application for an annual all alcohol license for Agave Mexican Grill and Lee at 30 Housatonic Street, with the understanding that there'll be a seating and occupancy calamities in compliance with the law.
Okay, very good. Do I have a second?
second.
All right. All right, and I guess we have a motion and a second, so I'll call for a vote. Let's roll call this vote.
Bob Jones, aye.
Sean Renier, aye.
And Gordon Bailey, aye. All right.
Very much.
Wasn't too painful, right?
No.
That was okay. A few twists and turns,
Good
but
luck.
it's all good. Yeah, we welcome you to the town for sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. Yep, very good. Thank you. Yeah.
Did you bring any margaritas up?
No. I don't know, but I didn't see them. It's all good. Okay, let me go beyond here. So we are done with our 2 public hearings. We're on to item number 3. One of our all-time favorites here, of course, public comment. Do we have anybody online who wishes to make a public comment? Seeing none, how about those in the room? If you'd like to make it, please come up, introduce yourself, and have your say.
Hi, my name's Kathy Corbett.
Hi, yes.
Hi. I'd like to thank the DPW for putting the bus stop signs where the library is. BRTA is moving the bus stops. There will be no more bus stop at the town hall. And they have to put bus stops also right in front of Hyde Place. That's where they're being moved to. And to the public, now that there are these 2 new bus stops, please do not park in those parking spaces. The old bus stop can be parking right now, but until the bus stop signs are on the car, it is a public parking spot.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what BRTA, I don't really understand that. We always just had posts that were big, and
Right.
after 50 years, they want that done.
All right.
Kind of crazy. Another thing is, on Old Pleasant Street, I live in Little Italy, where Marjorie is, and there are a bunch of weeds growing outside the bridge on both sides. So when I'm walking down to a Big Y to get groceries, I'm actually walking in front of them. Oh, sorry, before I get to there, with the Hyde Place to put them in, please put them in soon, because when I go out from visiting my friends and stuff, I'm actually walking in the road, waiting for having to be, this is the car. Now I'm in front of the car, in the road. So, to please get, put that in very soon. And, no.
And you're
This is-
saying there's a lot of weeds on the Old Pleasant Street Bridge?
Old Pleasant Street
Okay.
Bridge.
Oh, like headed towards Big Y?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the one
yeah,
right
the
beyond liquor store
2011
there,
one.
right on it.
Yeah, right off of, and, I'm back to the guardrails where people love to go fish and everything.
Yeah.
The weeds are way up high, and
Okay.
soon they're gonna be over that guardrail and stuff too, so
Okay.
the DPW could take every so often, go down there, trim them, that'd be wonderful. And, in the spring, I know people are gonna say, no, not now, we do need a crosswalk. Where,
Yes.
going from the 102 parking to cross over, and there's a million potholes, I'm sure you know, that need to be redone. That whole street probably, since there's so many there, that whole street probably should be tarred in the spring.
Well, we'll be taking a look at that. I know our DPW looks at this every year and prioritizes our roads. And I also know that since Big Y went there, we have a lot more traffic on like Lois and
Yeah.
in other streets down there because of this, before that was there. So I know that that neighborhood has been inundated with extra vehicle traffic.
Right.
But we can move your concerns. We'll definitely get it to the DPW superintendent.
Okay, great. And the last thing I'd like to discuss, I've mentioned it for years when I was down here all the time. In 1996, it became a law to have the 5-foot handicap poles. When it became a law, that means DPW does not have to make the wheelchair signs in those spots anymore.
No, they don't mean anything if they're on the ground anyway.
That's what
It
I'm
has to
saying.
be a
So,
s- Yeah, it has to be a sign.
so why is DPW still doing those in Lee?
We can ask and see.
All right.
Maybe it's just for an extra enthusiastic statement that it's for
You're wasting the
accessible.
people's money.
I'm
Gordon.
just saying, we can look into it. I'm not condoning it or criticizing. I'm just saying that it is not a requirement of the ADA or
No,
the
it's
AAB
not.
requirements. You don't need to mark them out on the tar, but you do need to have the signs.
Exactly, but
Yeah.
all the time, every winter and every spring,
Yep,
the DPW goes out and paints them.
yep.
It's not worth
We'll look
it.
into that too. How's that?
Sounds good, Gordon.
Okay, very good.
Okay,
All right,
see.
thank you for coming down.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right. That's probably the only person that wants to speak in the room, right? Oh, that's true. All right, Kathy, what's up?
Well, hello, everybody.
Hi.
So I will be brief, 20, 30 minutes, no problem.
If we're still here when you're done, we'll congratulate you.
But first of all, a huge thank you to Zach Sorrentino and the Lee DPW for repairing playground equipment at Bradley Street Playground and for installing the mini hold and spin at the Bradley Street Playground and installing the new swing set at the Eastleigh Playground. They did a fantastic job. We're very pleased with it. Love the swing set at Eastleigh. What a big improvement. And then, believe it or not, Lee Founders Weekend is this
Yes, it
Friday,
is.
Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
Enjoy, just be careful, especially Friday when everybody's out on the street.
No kidding.
But enjoy. And then I just have one concern, and I will talk to Chris about this at length. We ordered a ADA swing for, disabled children. The one we purchased for the athletic field several years ago is all wonderful, really sturdy plastic, and it has a hood over it that locks. That was about 300 something. This new one at Eastleigh, $600. It has straps. I'm concerned about straps. There is a little placard on the back of the seat, the front of the seat, when you put the child in, it just says, make sure you buckle all the straps. I do have a real concern. I do not feel that that is ADA compliant. So I don't know, where we go with that. It's just like my personal concern. I don't feel it's as safe as the one we have at the athletic field.
Well, I know the town's building department doesn't enforce the ADA requirements. They look at the AAB requirements. They can look and see if it meets those requirements. But as far as ADA goes, you may have to look to a different agency that enforces ADA. Generally, it's, I know in Pittsfield, there's, not Berkshire, I know there's some people, I can get you some names.
Yeah.
That's all I can tell you for now.
Yeah.
But we don't really have anyone in town that I know of that enforces ADA requirements.
Right.
I know that if you want to file a complaint, I know how you do that, but I won't go into that.
Right. I'm just very concerned because it doesn't seem as sturdy as the other one we purchased.
Sure. Maybe you should call the manufacturer and have them give you the cut sheet that shows it's approved by the ADA.
Right, because that's what we specifically did. Was it right?
Yeah,
When you did that,
the
we said
youth
ADA.
commission
Yeah.
recommended that.
Particular swing, but it
particular
didn't, I thought,
but-
I didn't see it with all the,
Yeah.
the
Well, if you go
straps and
to,
stuff.
also if you go online to ADA regulations, if you
Yes.
type that in, you'll go to the
Hotel.
full complement of federal regulations for ADA, and they'll have a whole section on recreational use, and they'll probably show you diagrams of what's allowed,
Yeah,
because they have a lot of pictures.
right, because I feel comfortable with the
Yeah,
one down at
right.
the athletic field because it locks.
Yeah.
So a child can't
Right.
undo anything with these straps. Maybe they could, I don't know.
I don't either.
It's,
That would be my suggestion of how to look it up.
Okay, thank you. Yeah,
You'll
we
probably
will.
find something online with it.
Right.
Find the order
Thank you.
before we can get.
Yeah.
Right,
and
to
find
get
out,
to
I'm
the
sure.
company, right. Thank
Okay.
you.
Excellent, no problem, thank you. Yep. All right, onward. Sign the order of taking for 11 Beartown Mountain Road. Explanation is we need to take a permanent easement and a temporary easement from, what's a Holiday Inn, what are they called? Holiday Inn, used to be Oak and Spruce.
Yeah, Holiday Inn Vacation.
Vacation,
something like
yeah,
that.
anyway, it's right where the bridge, where we need to replace the bridge that goes across the Beartown Mountain Brook. What it amounts to is that we have we had an assessment done, and it's what, $1,000 is the cost? So we have a document that we'll need to sign, that is called an order of taking, and we'll be giving Holiday Inn Vacation Resorts, whoever they are, $1,000, and then we'll be registering that taking at the Registry of Deeds. but I will need a motion if you folks are interested in going forward with that.
Mr. Chair, I'd move that we approve and sign the order of taking for the property at 11 Beartown Mountain Road. And I believe it's between us and Silverleaf Resorts doing business as Open Spruce, is that
Silverleaf
It used to
business
be.
is Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn? Okay.
Very good.
But Silverleaf is what's on the.
Silverleaf
I'm not
Resorts.
taking, okay, thank you, thanks. Do I have a second? Oh,
I
we'll
was
come
just gonna
back
say
to
it's
you.
a 20, okay, sure. Yeah.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Now we can talk.
Yeah.
Yes, what's
I
up?
was just gonna say it's about a 20th of an acre
Yeah.
for riprap along the,
Yeah.
along the brook. So that, when they put the new bridge in.
Sure. It's to shore up the embankment
Yeah.
and stabilize the end of the bridge where it's gonna sit. So it's something we have to do, and so we got the assessment done, and that's it. So any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it's unanimous vote. All right, we have a hawker peddler's license application. Let me get to that one. Looks like Jamal Hand for Trinity Solar. He wants to be able to go around town and knock on your door and see if you want to get solar stuff from him. And from Trinity Solar, they did go and get their state hawker peddler's license. That's part of our package. It's good August 2nd, 2024, and expires August 2nd, 2025. I was kind of hoping the person would show up today.
We don't have them on Zoom by chance?
I don't know, do we?
just
Anybody
wondered.
here? No, it's Hylon and Berkshire.
Somebody
Okay.
named Tammy.
Yeah, but they would speak up, I would assume, if they're here for this. My only concern is, and not really a concern, but we need to make sure that this person also has, meets with the police and gets the list of the do not solicit at my house list,
Right.
because they are not allowed to go to everybody's house. I gotta get my name on that list. I don't want anybody coming to my house and asking me to buy something. It's like, I just see this as a huge imposition on our people, but legally, he has the right to do this. And they were doing it before without approval, so now we're about to talk about whether you want to give them approval. So I'm not against giving them approval. I just personally don't want anybody at my door. Anyway, what's your pleasure, gentlemen?
I'll move that we approve the application for the hawker and peddler license for,
I think it's Jamal Hand.
well, it's Trinity Solar,
Well, okay,
Attorney Jamal Hand,
okay.
with the understanding that he get the do not solicit list from the police
Okay,
chief.
thank you. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
I have a second. Any other comments or questions from the public?
If you're like Gordon and don't want to be solicited, contact the town and get on the list.
You got that right.
He will be given the list when they get the.
Yes, I understand, but that's good.
If you want to get on the list, you go to see the police chief, or just.
Or Sabrina.
Or Sabrina.
Clerk?
Yeah.
Oh, the town clerk. That makes perfect sense.
Okay.
I'll be seeing Rachel tomorrow morning.
Right behind you.
Yeah, okay, very good. All right, now we have a one-day wine and malt license, and I think we do have somebody online.
We didn't vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I wrote V that we voted, and we didn't. All right, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, apologize. Thank you for reminding me. So now we have a one-day wine and malt license. I think we did this last year. It's the Mass Cheese Festival at Hylon Farm. And I assume we have somebody from Hylon. Would you like to speak to this or just listen?
Hi, my name is Caitlin Moriarty from Highland Farm with you all for your time this evening. I do have
Can you
Tammy
get
on this
louder?
call as well. She is the event manager
Great.
for the Cheese Festival with the Massachusetts Cheese Guild. We're happy to be putting on this event again this year and move forward to ask permission for these licenses.
All right, thank you. And I think we have is this a license for each of the vendors? Is that what I'm looking at?
Can we do it collectively?
Yeah, I think so. I think we can do that. But you have one license for each vendor, is that correct? On the app, isn't that what I'm looking at?
That's correct.
Yeah, okay, thank you. No, that's fine. So I'll just let everybody know that what we're looking at is one-day alcohol licenses for Antimony Brewing, Boston Wine School, Provisions Wine, Provisions Williamstown, and Berkshire Cider Project. Did I catch them all from your point of view? Hylon?
Yes, you did.
Okay, thank you. And this is an event, I'm looking at the date. Says September 21st. That's great timing, right with our special weekend coming up. So anyway, anybody else have a question for Hylon about the licenses?
No.
No? All right. Seeing no additional questions, any public input? No public input? Then I would entertain a motion to sign off on all of the special one-day alcohol beverages for the individual businesses I spoke of and allow the chair to sign.
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we approve the one-day alcohol licenses for Antimony Brewing, Boston Wine School, Provisions Wine, Provisions Williamstown, and Berkshire Cider Project, and authorize the chair to sign.
Do we have a second?
Well, second time.
All right, this time I will call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, it's unanimous, and I hope you have a great day and great weather.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging in with us. All right. Our next order, our issue, is we have a utility cut permit for 11 Woodlawn Road, but I don't see any documentation other than a sign-off sheet. Do we have a picture or what they're doing or how far in the road? I don't see any additional information or sign-off from,
There is a police department
yeah, I see it.
sign off.
There's a DPW.
It's attached to a water, it's, no sewer on that street, just a water.
Right,
connection, so-
okay. So it's a water connection, you think that's what they're for? Well, maybe we could do a contingent on, for the record, they must have shown police and DPW something.
No, they just cite the homes.
Well, I think that for our records, I'd like them to follow up just with a sketch of how far in the road they're going or across the road. And also, if they're going to cut into the road, they need to get that document that we approved before that shows how they're gonna fill the cut back in. Chris?
They'll get that, and then based on the
Yeah.
length, we'll
Some
put
kind
a
of
bond,
semi-bond? Okay. But I would like to see that we get an actual drawing of what they're doing and the extent of the cut. Anyway, now this says, oh yeah, that's, yeah. And this is for, the cut is for 11 Woodland Road. I'm getting confused because I see that there's 11, there was an address on Runway, but that's the person that's going to do the work. All right, so what's your pleasure, gentlemen?
Can we approve it with that contingency?
I think we can. It's no good unless they bring it in.
Right, so I'll move that we approve the permit for the utility cut for, what is it here?
111.
111 Woodland Drive, Lee, Mass, with the understanding that they'll provide us with the details on the work being done.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, very good. Now we have a couple of Berkshire gas permits, and one for, I guess we can take them together or individually, however you guys want to do it. There's one for 60 Erskine Drive to install a new service for gas, and one for 100 Maple Street to install a new service. And these, it looked like we had sketches, a nice sketch, actually, for the Erskine Drive one, and DPW police signed off on that. And for 100 Maple Street, we also have a very nice drawing with that. They are going to be crossing the road, it looks like. So again, as long as DPW follows up on making sure that it gets filled in right. You want to do them separately or together?
I think we could do them together. Mr.
Okay.
Chair, I'd make a motion that we approve the Berkshire gas permits for 60 Erskine Drive to install a new gas service and 100 Maple street to install a new gas service and to attempt to bore all blacktop areas.
And allow the chair to sign?
And
You're
allow
good
the
with
chair
that?
to sign.
All right, with that as a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All right. Any comments or questions from the public? I think we are pretty much all along, except for the press on that line there. Seeing no other questions, we have a motion and a second. I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. All right, our next agenda item is an appointment. We've been requested by our fire chief, Ryan Brown. I got a letter, we got a letter, and it says, I'd like to take a moment and introduce you to a candidate for per diem employment with our agency. Mr. Michael Mager is a Massachusetts registered nurse working on the critical care transport team at Bay State Medical Center. He's also certified as a Massachusetts paramedic, working in Springfield, and as a firefighter for the town of Stockbridge, where he resides. He's expressed interest in working per diem as a firefighter / paramedic on our ambulance, and he has furnished him with a pre-employment package, and pending our approval, he would like to schedule for a pre-employment physical inquiry check to the office. What's your pleasure? He is recommending that we appoint this person,
Mr. Chairman,
or that Chris appoints this person.
I move that we appoint Michael Maher as a candidate, as a per diem employee
Okay.
for the fire rescue EMS.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Very good. All right. The next order of our business was make an announcement. I've already signed up for this, in fact. Household hazardous waste. There is a gathering, which will be, I'll pick it up here, Saturday, November 9th, from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. at the Great Barrington Transfer Station. It's all part of the Southern Berkshire Collaborative here. These are the things you can bring in. You do have to sign up first. I believe I got this right on our website, Chris, so there's already an announcement on our website. And I clicked on the contact and right from our website, and I signed up, so that it was very easy to do. But I think it's filling up fast, so I would recommend that you, if you have a bunch of hazardous waste items, that you sign up. And I won't read the whole list of items, but basically the big takeaway here is don't bring latex paint, because that's not considered hazardous waste, and some other issues. But rather than read it all, I will suggest you go to our website, and you might be surprised to see all the other things that are on our website if you go there.
Right on the front page, news section.
There you go. It was right in the front when I went there, so it was great, right up front. So that's, again, Saturday, November 9th, from 9 until 1 at the Great Barrington Transfer Station. And sign up and get rid of all those unwanted pesticides and gas cans and other stuff that's in your basement. All right, very good. Next, we have a Department of Education. Let me get to that. We have some kind of an agreement. You want to explain what we're about to do here? Because we did this last year, too.
Yeah, so we have to provide this to the school that just outlines the estimated amount of time that any town hall employee spend doing school-related work.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, we've all read it. It comes down to administrative services, employee benefits administration. I mean, there's quite an exhaustive list, and if you'd like a copy of it, we'd be more than happy to send it to you. Anyway, so again, it looks like just the chair of the committee, school committee, and the select board need to sign this, but what's your pleasure?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the agreement of reporting from town to school
Okay.
and allow the chair to sign.
All right, thank you very much. Do I have a second?
I will second that.
All right, any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that's a unanimous vote again. All right, now there's a section now on any topic the chairman could not reasonably anticipate. Go ahead.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
at our PCB committee meeting
Yeah.
yesterday, we talked about potentially adding a subcommittee. I think that was something that we wanted to bring up here
Okay.
today. I
Yeah.
don't know if you were gonna do that maybe in your report and I cut you off.
This
Chris,
works
or-
too, yeah.
Well, as the chair, do you want to go more involved of the UDF subcommittee? Do you want to expound
Yeah.
more on?
Well, it's a subcommittee of the PCB committee to look really into transportation, details on transportation,
Specifically rail.
specifically rail, trucks versus trains. It's an ongoing issue. We expect a report from GE and Housatonic Railroad and the EPA sometime in the mid-October. But we want to be, the town wants to be on the front lines here. We want to stay ahead of any potential concerns or eventualities, and so we're forming this subcommittee. Dave Carrington is heading it up, and I presume you can come to see you, Chris?
Yeah.
If you want to take part in this, and we welcome anybody who wants to put in the time and effort to help us.
Okay, thank you. Anything more?
I think along with rail and disposal methods, we also discussed at some level the state of our bridges and the fact that trucks would be traveling, you
Yes.
know, thousands of trucks over these bridges that, you know, a number of them failing. One, obviously, there was a taking we did earlier that's for the purpose of reconstructing a bridge that's been temporarily repaired. So I think that that's a part of the concern that we were discussing yesterday as well. So, yeah, it's a lot.
And that temporary bridge was put out of commission over 10 years ago, by the way, just to
Correct.
let you know. That's how long temporary bridges can be.
And that's only one of the bridges that have been put out of service in our town, and there's others in the surrounding towns as well. And I think that that's something that this committee could bring to light and look at the proposed travel routes and you know, push the federal EPA to, you know, stipulate certain certain criteria for GE to follow if their contractors are gonna be, you know, using these bridges and potentially increasing the wear and tear, and, you know, it's a big issue for the area, so.
And I would also add to what Sean said, and that this was really just raised last night, and there are going to be more issues in regard to transportation that I'm sure that we haven't even thought of yet. So we would appreciate anybody who just would be willing to give us the input. We need another set of eyes, as many other sets of eyes on this as we can get.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other items that were not thought of ahead of time, reasonably anticipated? Since this was just happening last night, we did not anticipate this one. So this is a good time to have it. If nothing else, then we're going to go to the town administrator report.
Yeah, so kind of along those lines, we did mention last night that the Save the Housatonic website is now up and running, that the committee was involved with, so savethehousatonic.com. There'll be more information coming out about it as we move forward, but it is live now. You check it out. And the committee will also have a table with more information Friday night at Taste of Lee. So also wanted to mention CPA applications are, the letter of interest is due on October 1st, so anyone looking to apply for CPA funds.
Why don't you say that whole thing so people at home know, you know, CPA,
Community
ABC.
Preservation Act.
Thank you.
Letters
Thank
of
you.
interest are due on
Okay.
October 1st.
Right.
So just a one-page or
Yeah.
less letter of what your project might be. It has to do with either, it's required to be either part of recreation, open space, affordable housing, or historical preservation. And all the information is on the website. If you go to the main page under government, there's a Community Preservation Act Committee section where you can get more information about it. The letter of interest is to go to the committee to determine whether you're eligible for the funds. If they determine they're eligible, Phase 2 is a full application, which is due in December. And then all of the applications that are approved by the committee will go to town meeting in May.
Okay, very good, thank you.
The other things I wanted to mention, the building committee met last week. We've officially selected Skanska as the owner's project manager for the town of Lee, so we're excited to get working with them. We're hoping to begin phase 2 of design beginning of next month, which will hopefully bring us to potential demolition this winter and groundbreaking in the spring, so
Good.
slash summer. We also, some other good news, we were approved for a grant for a affordable housing trust for the town of Lee, so we do have a consultant that grant will pay, that will do all of the preliminary work to start the trust and then train the members of the committee that this board will eventually appoint, once
Okay.
it's all approved by town meeting in May, so I think that's all I have.
Okay, very good. Any last minute memory joggers from you guys? You all set? Okay. Then I will announce that our next regular meeting will be October 1st, 2024. That's a Tuesday, right here in this room at 7 o'clock. And I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
And all those in favor?
Aye.
It is unanimous. We are adjourned.